Hi, I'm Stevie W. This is In the Geek Room, and this is me in 1994, outside of Elstree Studios. So now we've got that out of the way, on to my top 10. But I'm not going to start with the top 10. I'm actually going to start with Jojo Rabbit. I'm not including this in the 2019 because it got a UK release on January 1st, 2020. So I really can't include this in the 2019 review because of, like I said, it came out on January 1st in the UK. But I have to reference it and say it because it is an absolutely fantastic film, and it would have made the top 10 had it been given a release in the UK in 2019. So Jojo Rabbit, absolutely powerful film, really made you think, made me laugh, made me cry. It's a truly great movie. Taika Waititi does it again. That's all I really want to say about that one, because there will no doubt make it to the 2020 top 10 films of the year. So, I just want to point out that I am not actually going. These are in some kind of order, but coming towards the end, it's hard to actually pick a top 5. Really, to be honest with you, because all the ones that are in my top 5 of the year could easily have been number 1 in any other year. Because, I'll be honest with you, we actually have some really decent films coming out this year. We have. So, my number 10 would be Captain Marvel. It's a great film. It was very enjoyable. Ben Mendelsohn, absolutely fantastic in the film. Marvel does it again. They struck gold in a year where they had, if I remember right, 3 Marvel Studios movies coming out. And so, yeah, Captain Marvel, absolutely fantastic film. It didn't really break any molds, but it was very enjoyable, and that's the thing with this. I've gone for films that I've really enjoyed. Number 9, SpiderMan Far From Home. Anything with Jon Favreau in, he's my favourite director, and Spider-Man, they've done it again. They've made another, Marvel have made another fantastic Spider-Man film, and I'm really glad they're actually going ahead with the third one with Sony and Marvel. So number 8, one that a lot of people really haven't seen because it was given a limited release in the UK, Official Secrets. One of my favourite films. I mean, I like films like Spotlight or The President's Men, The Post. I like it for that. I like journalism films and uncovering the truth. And Official Secrets is a film that really needs to be seen in the way that the climate is at the moment. A real must-see movie. It should have got some awards season nods, but it just seems to have been brushed under the radar. Keira Knightley, absolutely fantastic in it, as is Ralph Fiennes, who really stood out for me, and Rhys Ifans, who's absolutely superb in the movie. Official Secrets is a film you should see. It's just absolutely fantastic. Number 7, Ford versus Ferrari, or Le Mans 66 as it's known in the UK. Christian Bale gets my performance of the year. He's absolutely superb in this film. Now, I don't really do racing movies. I don't watch racing, but Ford versus Ferrari is a compelling story. It's absolutely fantastic film. Flawless. I truly love this film. It's one you should see. It really is. And Matt Damon, of course, can't forget about Matt Damon. I mean, his chemistry with Christian Bale is absolutely superb. Number 6, Yesterday. Again, this could have been number 1 in any other year. You've got Danny Boyle and Richard Curtis. Richard Curtis, who's one of my favourite writers. Notting Hill, The Boat That Rocked, or Pirate Radio as it is known in some territories, and About Time, which is another one of my favourite movies. Yesterday, superb soundtrack. It's in my top 3 soundtracks of the year, along with Blinded by the Light and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yesterday is a must-see movie, even if you don't like the Beatles music. Story's superb, performances are superb. It is one of these movies you just go out to the cinema and you just want to grab the soundtrack, which I did. Yesterday, absolutely superb. Number 5, Knives Out. Rian Johnson, from the director of The Last Jedi. An all-star cast, absolutely superb. Created the best ensemble cast of the year. a whodunit movie, and it's a superb story. I mean, it's like this again, where any of these films in any other year would have been my top film of the year. That's why for 2019 I'm not actually going for a quote top movie. The only reason I'm actually mentioning the order is because it's why I'm actually looking at these images, which you're looking at as you're listening to me. But Knives Out, the story is there, the direction is superb, and the acting, the performances, any one of the cast could have been and should have been nominated. But I really would love to see any awards with ensemble cast. I really would love to see Knives Out clean up. Just a top movie. Number 4, Blinded by the Light. Set in the 1980s, racial tension, and a teenager discovering Bruce Springsteen. Absolutely superb. I went into this movie only knowing it's about a kid a teenager in the 1980s, inspired by Bruce Springsteen. Go to the cinema. It's set in Luton, where I graduated from. And the 80s, which is an era I grew up in. I was never a Bruce Springsteen fan during that period. I was Duran Duran and Belinda Carlisle at that period in time. So I'm showing my age now. But Blinded by the Light, I literally went out, again, one of these films, one of my favourite soundtracks of the year, and I actually went out and bought some Bruce Springsteen, other than his greatest hits, which I already had. This is an absolutely fantastic British movie. It's, and it's just great seeing these locations, which I remember from my time at University of Luton. Let's go a big shout out to University of Luton, now University of Bedfordshire, as it's known. But it was just great seeing it, and it brought back memories. And again, the soundtrack is superb. The story is it's just absolutely. I can't go on enough. Can't go on enough about how great Blinded by the Light is. It is so inspirational. It is a absolutely fantastic movie. The direction is superb. Gurinder Chadha. I hope I've said your name right. Gurinder Chadha. Absolutely superb. And there's some real moments with the music in it. It's absolutely spot on. 3, Avengers Endgame. Now this one is the definitive comic book movie. A brilliant 3-act movie. I mean, this, like I said, this could be my number 1 movie of the year if I was in any other year. As I've said, for pretty much every one of these movies of 2019. The story's on point. It's a perfect 3-act movie. The ending is perfect. This is a flawless, in my opinion, comic book movie. It's fun. You care about all the characters. And what makes this film, for me, so unique is that, the wealth of characters in this movie, it doesn't matter who you are, you will have someone in this movie that you care about more than others. I mean, I'm a huge Captain America fan of the movie character. Chris Evans is Captain America. And I followed these movies right from Iron Man. So this is the culmination of all these movies, and it is a superb ending to this chapter of the MC and the whole phase of the MCU. This is comic book movie making at its best, and again, it's going to get looked over in all the awards ceremonies. But this is one film that is as close to a perfect movie as you can get in terms of comic books. It's to me, it's a perfect comic book movie, and I love my comic movies. So, like I said, in any other normal year, this would be number 1. Going on to number 2, Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this movie, and I've spoke to people that aren't really that fond of it, and you see all this stuff over the internet. But to me, this is the perfect conclusion to the Skywalker saga. It took an angle. I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but one character's arc was something that I always thought it shouldn't be, but then when I saw it play out, I got to admit I was wrong. JJ has done absolutely superb. I'm going to go into a bit of spoiler territory here for a few seconds. So if you've not seen Rise of Skywalker, just switch off now. paused so you can actually switch off. The Kylo Ren arc, I think the way JJ did it was better than I thought it should have been, because I always thought that he should have gone out like a badass, well, a bad guy. But the way he has his arc is actually superb, and it does work. Princess Leia, I like the way she's utilized in the movie, and it was really, it was emotional. Princess Leia scenes were. All the characters are there. Dio's absolutely superb. One of the new characters, and Babu Fink, brilliant. And I've always said, ever since it dropped to Star Wars Celebration, the first Star Wars trailer for 9, Rise of Skywalker, is still ranks as one of my favourite trailers of all time, and it was one of the best cut trailers of the year. And that trailer does the movie justice, and the movie does the trailer justice. It's a fun movie, and Ian McDiarmid is absolutely sinister as Palpatine. He's actually scary in this film. That is a solid performance. I mean, the entire cast is brilliant. The story's superb. I love this film, and I thought it was going to be, when going into it, it was going to be one of the downbeat ones, because they have to bring so much into this. But it was a superb movie. So it's absolutely. I mean, it is one of the most fun films you'll see in 2020 if you didn't see it in 2019, or if you were put off by Solo or any of the other Star Wars movies. Rise of Skywalker, for me at least, is superb, and it reminded me of what was great, and it reminded me of why I loved the original trilogy and why Episode 2 was so fun. It had that whole, this is a fun vibe to it, and that's what I truly loved about it. That's why it ranks is so high on the list. Again, in any other year, on any other thing, this would have been a standout film of the year for me, and it is. And that's why I said, when it comes into these ones, especially with Endgame, Rise of Skywalker, and of course the one that's coming up next, all would have been the number one by a mile in any other year. Which comes to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm actually leaving this one to last for the pure and simple reason: cinematically it's beautiful. Tarantino does it again, making a complete masterpiece. The script, the music, it has the best soundtrack in terms of construction. Buy the CD, download however you get your music, and just listen to it straight. Put it on in your car. If you don't drive, just go for a walk and listen to it. It's like listening to a radio broadcast, which is what it is. And as a soundtrack, it ranks as one of my favourite soundtracks, and it's barely been out a year. Barely been out. Don't know how exactly when the film was released. This is a film that I saw on day of release. Loved it so much, I went and saw it literally the weekend, because I really wanted to see it again and get us more out of it than they did the first time. The set in the 1960s is against the backdrop of the Manson family. It wasn't what I expected, and I went into this the use of Sharon Tate. I thought I knew the ending going into it. I was wrong, completely wrong. And when you watch it a second time, you appreciate it so much more. I've seen it again since, and this is one of these films you can watch multiple times, because this is a absolutely superb film. The cinematography, the music, everything, the performances, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and Leonardo DiCaprio, just to name the three top billed. I mean, it is film making at its best. Like I said, Tarantino, he's yet to make a truly bad movie, and I can't see him doing it, because every film he makes is something that is absolutely superb. And I'm going to go as far and say, at the moment, this Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stands as my favourite Tarantino movie. It's overtook Jackie Brown, which for years has been my favourite Tarantino movie. So for it to overtake Jackie Brown, which is, to me, Tarantino at its best, is a superb thing. So I'm leaving it here with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of my top films of the year. So that's been my review of my 10 favourite films that came out in 2019. See you all in another In the Geek Room video.